too much. Okay. All right. Hello, my favorite people. Hello, people that genuinely like me. Hi, 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 hi. Welcome back to Born a Statistic. I know I haven't been here for a good while. And that's because, as you see, my little space is just a little disarrayed. Issues in the space I'm having. I had to get my pipes taken up out of the floor and it redone. So it's a little disarray still in here, but I feel like I had to come on here to talk to y'all today about a few things. So today I actually started my podcast and it'll be on Spotify and it will be on Apple Music, I believe after today. But I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about basically frenemies. I wanted to talk about, so this past weekend, I'm sitting here playing with my podcast material because it'll be on here. So I just want to make sure that this is picking up the way it should so that it'll all align. But this past I went to Vegas to see my man Usher. I went to see him. We flew into Vegas on Friday and I came back this morning. True story short. But I wanted to talk about a little bit of my trip. Today the title was called Frenemies. So if you don't know what a frenemy is, it's basically someone who pretends that they like you or whatever for whatever reason, because I'm not sure of the reason, but they pretend that they like you and then they'll do some weird stuff. Like they do weird stuff behind the scenes. And today I wanted to talk about my trip to Vegas. So I went to Vegas with a family member, someone I call family. And the vibes it just wasn't there. Even before going to Vegas. So short story short, before I went to Vegas, weeks going into Vegas, I knew that the energy would be weird based off of it's nothing wrong with this person per se to them, but me and basically short story short, the person that I went with, we don't have the same views on life. We don't really intertwine for real that good. But at the end of the day, when we going out the States, I mean, I'm willing to have a ball with anybody. Like I'm still a loving person. And in my eyes, I'm cool and I don't have any malicious intent. So at first I wasn't paying it any mind. But I really want to get down to it for real, because a lot of people be pretending that they like you I don't know why. Like I really can't even tell you why people befriend people knowing that they don't like them or want to take them with them to be far away with them and knowing that they don't like them. I just was actually talking to my man and he was telling me about his sister told him about the situation with a girl that I think they went to put a Punta Cana or Mexico or something, and they wound up killing that girl, knowing that they didn't want her there. As soon as they get there, they wasn't even there for a few hours, and they wound up killing that girl. That, of course, wouldn't have been my situation because, again, like I said before, I felt the weirdness before I got to Vegas. So again, I just want to talk about my trip. So before I got to Vegas, a lot of people don't know who I went with. A lot of people don't even know, again, that I went to Vegas, but nobody really know who I went with, and I'm pretty sure she'll see this, so I don't really care. But on my trip before I went, I was telling my mom, I was telling my man, like, listen, I don't know, the energy is just off. Like I could just feel how it's going to be. And I really don't really want to go, but I repaid my money. So I'm like, I'm going to go. I'm going to start out. I'm going to have fun. And which I did at the end of the day. I did. No matter who was there, no matter what was going on, I was going to have me some fun, bottom line. So basically we didn't talk probably a week leading up to the trip, which I knew it was an issue because I had called and she declined the call, which was fine. It is what it is. But once I got to the airport, I didn't expect to really like communicate because I already felt the energy. So I was like, whatever. So when I got to the airport, she popped up. I was like, hey, Kanisha, whatever. So we busting it up on the airplane. Everything is cool. We land. Everything is still cool. Then we get to the hotel room. And when we got to the hotel room, we both had to use the restroom when we got there. And she went in the restroom before me. And when she was about to come out, I'm like, boy, I'm about to go right back in. Let me spray. Because, we both had a little situation on our stomach. So I'm like, let me spray before I go in there. So I didn't have perfume at the time because I didn't realize that I left it in my car. So I went to use her perfume. And she did. She was like, don't use my shit, And I'm like, at first, I'm like, all right, whatever. But I'm not paying her no mind because I'm going to spray. I don't want to smell, shit when I go to the bathroom. Just like I wouldn't want you to. So I sprayed her spray twice into the bathroom. So she still was ranting and raving. I'm not taking it serious because I really like, even though she's upset, I still don't care because it's just perfume. Like to me, it just means nothing. It's just perfume. So we get to going back and forth, and I'm just like, you're a little strange. Like you're really going off of a 2 squirts of perfume. She went to say, I don't care. I don't care if you pay $70 like I do for my perfume. Now, that statement right there. This is my issue because from today on, I'm pretty sure that we'll never really cross paths really like that. There's no malicious. I'm not. When I say I'm not mad, I'm not angry, or nothing. But that right there lets me know how you really feel about me. If you get what I'm saying. Um, so yes, a lot of people value me, as you say, like they value what I say, like they'll listen to what I say, they'll even take a little bit of heed to what I say, but the respect levels have been down, have been an all-time low. And that's why I've been distancing myself more and more and more. So after she said that, after she was like, I paid, like if you paid what I paid for my shit, basically you would care. Again, like I said, it made me realize how this girl really feels about me, which but my thing is nobody around me have to pretend. Not a soul around me have to pretend. I'm not nothing. Everybody, I'm the same person. I don't have to act like I'm more. I don't have to act like I spend more. I don't have to buy designer. I don't have to really do none of that. I could really be myself, and people like me for me. A lot of people really don't like themselves, and they compensate and they recompensate for in other ways and other things. So that was that. When she did that, I really had to really think because at first I started to go in a little bit because um I don't like competition. I don't like when people try to compare, and I don't like when people try to talk down on people. But at the same time, I know who I am and I know what I have. And you can have all the designer you want. That's what's up. I have assets. I have assets. I have a lot of assets. So that was that. But after that, it like irritated me because again, on the trip, before I got to Vegas, I already knew that I would be doing things on my own. Like I actually had a plan to. I was supposed to be bungee jumping off of the stratosphere, which we stayed at the Strat, and I was supposed to jump off of the Strat. Like we already had plans and everything was good, but I couldn't do jump off the Strat because remember I was telling you guys I was in an accident in January, this couple of days before after my car had got repossessed. So when I was in the accident, I told you I had a bulging disc in my neck, and it turns out I don't smoke weed, I don't drink, I don't do nothing, and while I drive hers trucks. And a couple of days while I was driving, I felt myself nodding off. Come to find out, the bulging disc is on the stem of my brain, so I will have to get surgery. So a lot of the things that I wanted to do from the time, which was about almost 3 weeks ago, where I found out, to now, I'm not unable to do. I was told by the doctors that if I do anything excessive or if I jerk the wrong way, I could potentially be paralyzed. So I slowed down a lot of things. So on this vacation, of course, I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do. I couldn't go ATV riding. I couldn't zip line. I couldn't skydive. I couldn't get on a roller coaster. I couldn't really do anything besides, sightsee. I did some gambling and stuff like that. Oh wait, I'm sorry. And I didn't mention the fact that I went down there with someone I call my cousin, but she also had a friend down there as well because she was celebrating her birthday. So short story short, at the hotel, after the little squabble, I left. I went to go get a few things. And I prayed. I prayed 'cause I didn't talk to nobody. At that time, we in Vegas. I think it was almost 11 o'clock, and everybody in Philly asleep. So I didn't call nobody. I prayed about it. Um, I did. I made a few TikToks about it because I had a lot of things on my heart, and it was weird to me because again, if you was there, I didn't break down a lot of the argument, but you can just everything that she was saying. It was like, wow, you really look at me like this, and this is crazy. But I wasn't even there. Like it is what it is because there's a lot of people that look at me in a weird way, and if I really got offended by how everybody felt about me, I probably would be like, probably kill myself or something. So that's neither here nor there. So after the argument or whatever, I got what I got and I went back to the hotel to drop myself off to go back outside because already in my mind, before I got there, as I was saying before, I was expressing to other people that I knew that she would be on weird time, especially because her friend is out there. Now, this is nothing to do with her personally. I just know her type of person because she's a type. She's definitely a type. Love her dearly, have a lot of love for her, but she's a type. It's a bunch of bitches just like her. Excuse my French. So after the hotel, everything was cool. I went back to the hotel. She was there. She went to the dispensary. So I met up with her after the dispensary. Now, after the dispensary, everything was cool. We busted up, ha 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 ha. We're on our way to go meet the other friend. Everything is cool. Once we get with the other friend, or with her friend, because I'm not a friend, I'm a cousin. When we went to get to the other friend, whole energy switch. When I say whole energy switch, it was so cute because I already knew. So it's like it's one of those things where I wasn't mad or anything. I just like, okay, I know that tomorrow I'll be by myself. So that's all it was. Like no beef, no nothing. It is what it is. Because again, I came on vacation to have fun. I'm not about to come here and argue with you or feel no type of way. It is what it is. You showed me what I needed to, what you needed to show me, what I needed to know, and we all good from there. So that was that. So we get there and we do a couple of things. And again, you can see that you can sense that the energy is off. Actually, this girlfriend that she brought, I actually met her before. And just based off of what she was telling me before we went on the trip, it seemed to me as though that my cousin was like having little words about me. So I did, say something to my cousin before we got there. Like, so what would you tell this girl about me for her to have these feelings? It's none of my business, but I just want to know, what I'm walking into, because at the end of the day, we're going to be around each other. So that night, me and the girlfriend really didn't talk too much. We didn't really have any words for real, but you can just, again, you can sense that the energy is off. Plus, before we left the hotel, I knew when she was on the phone with her, and she was asking her dumb questions like, "Where's her location?" She had me and her location, so I just knew that she was on weird time. So when we met up with the girl, everything was weird. Everything was weird. So but before we left the girl, she offered me a peace offering and peace offering, which was pretty cool. But I still was like, I'm still gonna do my own thing because I don't want to be around a weird energy. Me personally, there's no beef, there's no anything. But anytime, anywhere I go, but especially I'm out of state, I'm gonna have a good time. I don't care who's around. So that night had passed. My daughter, she was giving me little weird faces and all of that. Like, granted, she was on an edible, everything, she was laughing and stuff like that. But you come on, man. Anybody who can feel energy, they can tell you. Like, it even got so deep where I was like, well, Buddha, why do you keep looking at me like that? Like, what's your whole, like, why do you keep looking at me like this? I just had it all painted on mind. I really didn't say anything much more until we got to until we got back to the hotel. It was about 2-something, 3-something in the morning. And even then, I still didn't say nothing. She walked in and she just was like, "Yeah, people always say, yeah, I could tell. I just felt the demon coming up out of me." And this is the thing with females. I hate that little fake facade. So my cousin wants to say that she's mean. A lot of females are just like this. No, they're not mean. And this is why I say you're not mean. Because if a mean person, they're kind of like the same with like everybody. And with a lot of females, it depends on who you are and what you are. So I said this in the beginning of my podcast. A lot of people look at, because I'm so nice, I'm so sweet. I used to let a lot of things like get past me. I used to allow people to do certain things, and I'd be like, this is my cousin or this is my sister, so it is what it is. I used to actually go through things and just will speak to another person without talking about the issue, without talking about why we fell off in the first place. I don't do that anymore. I'm no longer that person at all. We're gonna discuss it and we're gonna move along. But that whole ignoring stuff like it never happened, and you just being back in my presence and we just are floating like it just a key, that shit is dead. Not sorry at all. But the next morning I got up, I went on about my business by myself. I went out, had a good time, met a few people, went to a seminar, I went out to eat. And I had me a little blast. So she wound up texting me a little, later on in the afternoon. It was like, yo, cuz you cool? I'm like, yeah, I'm chilling. She was at the rooftop on the pool. So when I got back, I did get a bit back a little later. So I wound up going to the pool area. I got up there and realized I didn't have my ID, so I had to go back to get my ID. So it took me a good minute. But while I was there, I don't know, I was meditating, I was doing stuff for me, like I was enjoying my little time by myself. So I wasn't in no rush to get up there. So finally, when I did decide to go all the way, to the rooftop or whatever, she texted me and was like, "Hey, Sam is on her way. Her friend was on her way to come to get dressed because her friend was at a different hotel, whole different hotel." And I was curious to that too, but that's none of my business. So our friend was at a whole other hotel, so she wound up coming to our hotel, and she wanted to get changed to her attire, so she